we are planning a few more in the next coming months, and if we get a chance, we would like to set up a in person also, but we will try. And but today's topic is about externalizing Mule logs using CloudHub APIs and Azure blob storage. So today we have a surprise. One of the MuleSoft ambassadors is becoming, he already became our Princeton Meetup leader. So we will reveal that in the next slides. So safe harbor statement. So both the speaker and host, we are organizing this meetup in our individual capacity only.
Sorry to interrupt you. I am not seeing the second slide. Yeah, I can see it now. Yeah.
Yeah. So as said, yeah, we are organizing this at our individual capacity only. We are not representing our companies or anyone here. So this presentation is strictly for learning purpose only. We do not hold any responsibilities if the same solution works for your business requirements or not. And this presentation is not for promotional activities. As said, it's specifically for learning purpose only. So this session will be recorded, and recordings and the slides will be available in our Princeton Meetup group page. And if you guys are having any difficulties, please do reach out to us regarding the meetups details. And apart from the host and the speaker, everyone will be muted. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop a chat in the question and answer chat box. We will try to answer them and there if possible, or else we have separate time set up at the end of the sessions for QA, and we can pick it up there and the feedback. So after this meetup, you will get a feedback email. Please provide us feedback, like what are the improvements and all the stuff needed. We will try to fix it and go for the next time. Okay, and so yeah, first we'll go through the introduction of all the MuleSoft Meetup leaders for Princeton, and next introduction about speaker, and followed by a discussion on externalizing the Mule logs using CloudHub APIs and Azure blob storage, and followed by the demo, and at the end we have a separate time for QA session and the networking. So yeah, so myself, Srinivas Reddy Vaidugula, I'll give a quick intro about myself. So I'm a lead, technical lead with Virtusa. So I have over 9 years of experience.
Next slide. What? Next slide. Yeah.
You are not able to see the slide?
Slide, please.
We can see, can you go to the next slide?
Next slide.
One
more time.
It's little slow. It's lagging.
No.
Okay, maybe we will see. Next, we have Capish, right? Presenting, maybe it gets fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope you are able to see organizer's slide now.
We can see request to all. Yeah. Now.
Yes.
Yeah. You can go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry for that. Maybe issue with my network. So yeah. So as I said, I'm a lead MuleSoft developer. I'm technical lead at Virtusa. I have over 9 years of experience. I'm both a mentor. Yeah. And a meetup leader. Yeah, that's about myself. Subhash, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hi guys. My name is Subhash Roy. I'm working as a senior MuleSoft integration architect for Virtusa, and I am a MuleSoft mentor. I have around 18 plus years of industry experience. I work on different technologies, currently working in the MuleSoft for a couple of years. That's about me. And we like to introduce Ravan Lingam, our new, she joined as a new MuleSoft leader for our Princeton group.
Thanks so much.
You can introduce. I know it of your introduction, but everybody knows you.
That's my part. So, hello everyone. This is Ravan Lingam. I am one of the MuleSoft ambassadors, and I'm very happy to join Princeton group with my 2 ex-colleagues and friends from Virtusa. So, thanks for letting me into your group, Subhash and Srinivas. And right now I used to work as a solution architect. So I worked in various locations like India, Poland, Canada, and now I'm in US hunting for a job. So yeah, right now I am moderating MuleSoft-TechZone. That is my own YouTube channel. Yep, that's a little introduction about myself. Hope you will be enjoying this session. Next slide, Srinivas. Yeah.
Can you see it
So,
now?
yeah. So this is a request to all the members. Now that we have 22, that's fine, but still, please feel free to volunteer for future Princeton Meetup group. Like if you want to present a topic, that's how Kapish, reached out to us. So yeah, if you have a topic in your mind, and even if you are like you need some help in preparing the deck or something, we are always here to help you. Feel free to reach out to us. You can always go to our meetup page and contact organizer. And what do you expect from these meetups? Please send us an email. Like if you have some set of expectations, please feel free to reach out to us. Anything else, as I said, like contact the organizer. Into the next slide. So most of you, if you are new to MuleSoft community, please don't forget to join MuleSoft community in our LinkedIn. Okay, that is our official MuleSoft page for having all the community related discussions. And Dreamforce is coming next month, so feel free to join the virtual events that will be happening. So Dreamforce 2023. And most of you might be knowing that training.mulesoft.com will be slowly, migrating to Trailblazer, but still, if you want to know anything, any courses that you want, or what type of certifications that MuleSoft provides, you can always go to training.mulesoft.com and explore there. And people who are new to MuleSoft, it's not for people who are already in MuleSoft space. There is a free account that you can create at Anypoint platform. So try to use that to learn something new. And I always suggest you guys, I see like a lot of questions that are asked on various social media platforms like WhatsApp, Telegram, or on LinkedIn. But I always suggest, even if you have a solution, if you got a solution, try to post that question and solution on help.mulesoft.com. It will really help, so that it is kind of place for us to, someone else can face the same issue and he can just go to help.mulesoft.com and see that. And if at all, if you want to become a speaker, leader, or mentor like us, you can always reach out to us. We will try to help you out, like what is the process to do that. Yep, you know where you can reach out to us. Let's give my mic to Kapish. Kapish, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Ravan. So I am myself Kapish Bhardwaj.
Sorry to interrupt you. Maybe Kapish, you can share your screen right now. That would be better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we will, guys,
So,
session is being
Srinivas, can you give
recorded.
me access?
Yeah. Session is being recorded. So, and if you have any questions, you can answer in the chat. And if the person is giving a demo, please let him complete the demo. And any questions you feel that they are unanswered, we will try to answer them after this meeting, because it's not that we know everything, right? So if at all there are any questions that are unanswered, we'll always try to reach out to you and give those answers. Over to you, Ramesh.
Next one. So let me introduce myself. As Ravan said, I will be taking up the questions in between or after the after the demo. But like whenever I feel I can answer the question, I'll answer those. And let me introduce myself. I'm Kapish Bhardwaj. I'm working as associate solution architect in KLS Consulting. It's been like I have around 3+ years of experience in IT industry, and I have some experience. I have 3 years of experience in MuleSoft and some experience of Java. Currently, I'm working in MuleSoft and APG both. So that's my experience. I have told you. So we will be covering like in this topic. The topic is like we'll be covering how we can externalize our Mule logs using CloudHub APIs and Azure blob storage. So as you all know, like there are some limitations of the Anypoint platform that we use in the CloudHub 1.0. So basically, we will be focusing on the logs at this time. So we'll be saying what all limitations that are there, and how we can externalize our logs without using any third-party logging tool like Splunk or etc. You see like, so many third-party tools over the market now these days. So we will not be using those, because in some use cases you can have some financial clients. Let's suppose I came to a client and that client does not want to send my data to some third-party service. So I do not want to use Splunk in that case. So how you can externalize your logs? So we have a use case that we have done for like one of our clients. So we'll be presenting those today. and like it's a like best you can take some benefit out of it, and it's best approach if you can see how we can use some blob storage instead of using third party tools, so that we can see how what all benefits are there of blob storage and how our CloudHub APIs are benefiting in exporting the logs. So all these things we'll be seeing today. So let me move to my first slide. So in the first slide, we'll be discussing over the CloudHub architecture. So if you see what there are so many services over the web. If you see there's SaaS, iPaaS, so many if you see it. And CloudHub is one of the iPaaS platform. So here you can have the you can secure your APIs. It is the APIs are highly available, and you don't need to go anywhere to see the log, secure your APIs. It's a single platform that gives all the benefits of deploying, managing APIs, securing APIs, and you can also have this new thing introduced in the Anypoint platform that's called partner manager, from where we can have the mappings between two customers and send the data from one server to another server. So there are too many services that CloudHub is Anypoint platform is giving us nowadays. So it's beneficial to use Anypoint platform, that we do not do instead of doing the integration in some other technology. We need to have some tools for securing. You need to have some other tool, and for deploying you need to have some other tool. So from here, Anypoint platform, there's a single platform which helps us in designing our APIs, to deploying our APIs and securing our APIs. So it's a beneficial tool for us, and it's iPaaS as I said. So to understand the CloudHub architecture, so it's the two major components involved are like the worker cloud and the Anypoint platform services. So I'll touch base on the deployment areas, like how we can deploy, how what is the concept of workers and vCores involved, so that everyone gets to know how we can deploy, and how we can get to know how many workers to assign, how many vCores to assign whenever we're deploying our API, and what is the tool for deploying our API. So all those things I'll be covering today in this meetup. So let me move to my another slide. I'll give a pause after this slide so that we can have some questions in there in the chat. Okay, so this is the architecture of the CloudHub that looks like. So this is the runtime manager. So runtime manager is the area where you deploy your APIs. Let's suppose I have made my API from the design approach. So what design approach looks to like, it looks to like case like we have REST APIs and the SOAP APIs. In REST APIs we can design a YAML, and for designing a YAML we have design center in place for the Anypoint platform, where you can have your endpoints, you have your description of the endpoints, your data type, all those things can be defined in the YAML. And whenever you're designing your YAML, you add all the things in the design center and publish it to Exchange, so that we can have the YAML scaffolded in our API and use those endpoints to have the development phase in progress. Whenever the development is complete, we deploy our APIs to runtime manager. So runtime manager is basically the deployment area where you deploy your APIs, and also API managers there in the platform services, if you see. So platform services, as I'm talking about, we can see design center can be here in the platform services, API manager can be here in the platform services. All those services are provided by a single platform that is called Anypoint platform. And don't need to go anywhere to secure your APIs. You don't need to go anywhere to deploy your APIs. All the things are over here in a single platform. So these are the platform services. If you see application data, insight, logs, alerts, virtual private clouds. Suppose you have a a data center that is on one cloud, and you don't want to you don't want your API should hit your data center outside the cloud. So you can secure your API within a single cloud, that is called VPCs, and worker management. Then there is schedule management. All those things are provided in the platform services, and integration applications, all those things like app API. There can be multiple things if you deploy. And there are worker clouds, as I said, how many workers, workers means basically VM, how many VMs you're assigning to your app, and how many memory you're assigning to your app or API. It depends on the vCore. All those things are provided in the Anypoint platform. So this is a basic architecture I'm talking about in the Anypoint platform. And let me see if there are any questions in the chat. Okay, so we are all good. Let me move to my next slide.
Yeah, moving to next slide, Kapish. Team, please remember that we will be having a quiz. Of course, there are no giveaways or something like that, but it's just for fun. And whatever questions that are asked by Kapish in those quiz, it will be from these slides, and whatever he's try to concentrate on what he's giving.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let me move to my next slide. So as I talked about the runtime manager, on the basically one of the drawbacks of the runtime manager. So we'll be concentrating on that because, as I said, Anypoint platform is a very vast topic. As I said, there are multiple things in the Anypoint platform, from securing your API to designing your APIs to deploying your APIs. So we'll be talking about the runtime manager, that is basically the deployment of the APIs today. So let's suppose I have deployed my API to the Anypoint platform, and there's a customer came to me, and he asked me, I want to see the logs of the deployed API. So how will you guide that? How, like, from where you can see the logs of your deployed API? So basically, what you do is you select the runtime manager from the Anypoint platform, and then and then you click on the applications, and then you select the application which is deployed, and you want to see the logs. Once you click on that, you will see on the left hand side there will be written logs. So if you click on the logs, you will be seeing all the logs that is coming in. Logs is basically the request payloads. Someone is hitting to trying to hit a endpoint, and you see all the logs, the request payload things, and what transaction is going on, and is there any error, or the requests are getting smoothly. So all those things you will be seeing in the logs. And also you can see the deployments over here. So let's suppose I deployed my API 5 minutes before. It will be seen as like this if you see in the screenshot. And you can also see like when was the last deployment happened. It was on Wednesday, or what day what day. You can see all the deployments over here. So that's the benefit of runtime manager. You don't need to go to anywhere to see the last deployment and see the success and failure logs. You can see all those things over here. But like as I said, there's a drawback. You cannot see all the things. Like there is a drawback of seeing the logs. So what I'll do, we'll talk about the limitation of the CloudHub logs now. As I said, there's a limitation of the runtime manager in the CloudHub. So if you see, there's a message written over here is logs are kept for 30 days or up to 100 MB. Let's suppose my API is very heavy. The traffic on my API is very heavy. So let's suppose there's a 10 requests coming per minute, and if you consider 10 requests coming per minute, and in 10 minutes you will see all the logs being vanished from the runtime manager. So in that case, and my customer asked me, can you give me the logs for in the previous 20 minutes? I got one transaction, and he asked me to give me that particular transaction, but I'm not able to find out, because what happened is that particular log got vanished from runtime manager, and I'm not able to access that particular log, and I'm all blocked now, because in that particular transaction there is some error that came in. So we don't have the request payload for it. So it's like black box for me. You cannot do anything until and unless you have a titanium membership. As you all know, like Anypoint platform comes up with multiple memberships. So there's if you go from first one is gold, then comes the platinum, and then comes the titanium. So what is the benefit of having I'll talk about titanium first, because there is benefit of having titanium in this use cases. If you have a titanium, you will be able to have a access to Anypoint monitoring. So what Anypoint monitoring gives into the table is like, if it gives you the storage data. If you have a there's two vCores, like two areas if you talk about in the Anypoint platform. One is the production, and then another is a sandbox. So in production, it gives you 200 GB of storage accounts of data, and in sandbox it gives you 50 GB of storage data in the titanium account only. And in the lower two accounts, gold and platinum, there's no feature of Anypoint monitoring, so you cannot rely on Anypoint monitoring to give you the data. And if you as I talked about, if I want to get the data of my previous 20 minutes, I will not be able to do it in gold and titanium, because I'm not able to see the logs. The logs are vanished. But in if you have the most higher membership, you can get that. So that's the benefit of having the titanium membership. And that's there's the limitation that logs are kept up to 30 days or 100 MB. So if you see, it's a black box for us for now. So I'll be talking like, if I have a gold membership or I have a platinum membership, so what will I do now? Like before giving any suggestion how you can save your logs, I want to ask the audience, like, if you have something in your mind, can you please answer in the chat? I will love to hearing that. I'll give a pause for 1 minute. Anyone interested?
Guys, any questions so far? You can chat on the group. Okay, I'll take that as a no. You can go forward, Kavish.
Okay. So I'll give the solution. I'll talk about the solution now.
There is a
How we can have a solution.
sorry. There is a question from Sangamitra. The logs has to be externalized to some other provider, keeping the secret info tokenized. Is it a question or is it a say, Sangamitra?
I guess when she's giving the answer.
Oh.
Yeah, Sangamitra. So yeah, you are right. We can externalize a log, but you don't need. I don't want to use any external logging, as I said, because I have a data that is coming from a financial client, and I do not want to send any like data to the third party. So that's why I'll be not using Splunk over here. I'll be using CloudHub APIs in this use case. Yeah, you are right. You are like 80% right what you said. So let's give us a solution. So as I said, how we can overcome the limitation. So in order to overcome this limitation, so we have some thing that is called cloud platform APIs. So platform API is nothing much that the Anypoint platform introduced the REST APIs for the Anypoint platform that is called CloudHub APIs. So by using CloudHub APIs, there are so much benefits. You can have the you can get the how much environments are there in your runtime manager and what all APIs that are deployed in a particular environment, how many workers are there for a particular API, and what is the environment information. You can also design your ML using the REST APIs. You can publish your ML. You can secure your APIs. Like there are n number of helpful ways from which comes into the picture when we use CloudHub APIs. Also, if you want to integrate any end system, let's suppose I want to integrate Slack or I want to integrate Telegram and like any feature WhatsApp with the MuleSoft. You can use CloudHub in that case, CloudHub APIs in that case, because it's too much beneficial and you don't need to go to any platform to get all the things again and again. You just hit the REST API and you get all the data. So that's the like benefit of having CloudHub APIs in a picture. So as I said, we'll be using CloudHub APIs for this solution because CloudHub APIs will get to know from CloudHub APIs we'll get to know the deployed APIs of our environment, and from that environment I'll pick up a particular API and I'll see how many workers it is consuming. On that particular worker, so I will download the log file of each worker and sending it to the blob storage. And as blob storage is nothing is like Azure has a storage accounts associated. So in that blob storage, you can send like data like images, video, any data you can see, you can send in those blob storage. So this will be the solution. And let me give the description of the CloudHub APIs. So CloudHub APIs enable you to access the application management service. As I talked, we can have the applications which are deployed to a particular environment. We can have all the environments associated with the runtime manager. You can get all the data of the CloudHub endpoint platform from these CloudHub APIs. And if you want to go to detailed description, I'll show you the Postman what all benefits are there for the CloudHub APIs, and we can see all what all things are there in the CloudHub APIs. This is just a PPT part. When I go to the demo part, I'll be showing you all the CloudHub APIs, Postman collection, and the blob storage, and how the integration is working. I'll show you all those things. And if you go to the overview, you can access your APIs through this is all the things that I'm saying, that we can access your APIs through the REST APIs. You can have the retention policies, log retention policies using your CloudHub APIs. You can also have your you can have a access token. Like let's suppose I want to have a download the logs from my API that is deployed in development. But before doing that, I want you should have access token. Access token is nothing you nothing much. It's like we are hitting our endpoint platform, and you should have access token for hitting that endpoint platform. So how you can get the access token when you're hitting your endpoint platform, CloudHub APIs? I'll be covering those in the demo and show you how we get the access token and what all things are required from the endpoint platform to get the access token. Whenever you get the access token, then only you can work on the another other services like deployment of APIs, downloading the logs of the APIs, publishing the RAML, All those things can be covered only when you have the access token in your hand. So these are things I'll be covering in the demo. So these are some limitations of the CloudHub APIs. So these are the endpoints. If you see, notification endpoint is nothing like whenever I get the failure, you will get the notification. You can just set those things from the notification APIs. And if you there are control planes, US, EU, and government cloud. So control plane is nothing much but the data center you can talk about. Let's suppose I have my data center that is deployed in US East region. So I will deploy my API on in this control plane only, so that my API is nearest to the data center and data synchronization is very quick. And you don't have any data loss also in this picture. So if I hit 75 requests per minute, means in a minute, if I hit 75 requests, and if I in a minute I have hit request, and in that particular minute, if I hit 76th request, I will get the status code as 503. That's the error status code, that you will not be getting the 200 response, so you will be getting the 503 in that. Similarly, the EU region, if I hit 26 requests per minute, I'll be getting 503. And the endpoints under V2 application. So there's two endpoints, like two you can say base path. API base path, you have notification, and the V2 applications base path, we have these endpoints. There are many endpoints, but these are the you say restrictions on these particular endpoints that the CloudHub API has. So this is all about, if I hit the 11th request per minute, I'll be getting 4 to 9 for the logs, deployment log file, and instance. I'll be showing you what all these endpoints do in my demos. Like log file is the endpoint that is used for downloading logs. The logs is for viewing the logs. And then the deployment ID. So instant ID is nothing but the worker of the deployed application. So whatever the worker that is deployed, like if you have application that is deployed on 4 workers, so that application will have 4 instance ID. So instant ID is strictly proportional to workers of the deployed application. And then you have the deployments, deployment ID, and the logs file. So deployment ID is nothing much like whenever you deploy an application, you get a deployment ID of your uh, API from the runtime manager. Whenever you pass the deployment ID, you will get the logs. Let's suppose I want to see the logs of my previous deployment. How you can see that is, whenever I hit this endpoint, I'll be able to see the logs of my previous deployment as well. So these are all the endpoints that comes in the picture, and these are the limitations. Rate limit, you can see there is rate limiting applied in the CloudHub APIs, and these are the status code we receive when we hit more than these requests per minute in these endpoints. So before going to next slide, any questions, guys? Just I'll give a 1 minute pause.
Sangamitra has a question, like for the second approach of using CloudHub API to fetch the logs, I think we might keep into consideration of security concerns so that an external customer is able to access the secure VPC or private space. In that case, as per our understanding, we should be whitelisting. Yes, I think definitely we'll be considering the security concerns. And we will be directly exposing our CloudHub API to the customer. Probably we will be having a kind of experience API on top of that to handle these kind of scenarios. Kapish, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, Shravan, yeah, you're right. So, as Shravan said, we'll not expose the CloudHub API directly to customer, as it is not good approach. If customer gets to know, or any XYZ person gets to know about the CloudHub APIs, he'll be able to access it. But also, if he gets to know about the CloudHub APIs, he'll be not able to directly use it because there is a X token involved. So that token expires in some time, and if he tries to hit for after 10 minutes, that he will not be able to access that. And also for the security concern, this is one of the things that comes in with the CloudHub APIs, that it has an inbuilt security. But also for securing from our end, you should always have the experience API in picture, as so that you should not directly expose your CloudHub endpoint to any XYZ person, and the person will only hit the experience API, so that your end system is not directly involved with the person. That's what the API-led connectivity approach suggests. You have experience process and system API, so that if you have any end system or any end system target you are trying to hit, have it in system API and expose the experience API to the person. Yep, that's all for the question. And let me go back to the slide. So this is the architecture diagram of our use case, like how we'll be covering our use case. So first there will be a mule scheduler, so that will schedule like trigger our app to get the like instance ID. So as I said, instant ID is nothing, the worker ID, like all the workers that are involved with a particular API. So that's the instance ID. So for downloading the logs, you need to have the instance ID of the each worker. So how we will do that, I'll show you in the app. So we will retrieve the instance ID, then we will retrieve the log file based on the instance ID. So each worker will have the log file, and for each worker there will be a different log file. If you see in the runtime manager and you try to download the log file, there are three options involved in it. One is the mu logs, then is the app logs, and then is the logs. So all those options are involved when you go to the UI of the runtime manager. But over here, what we will download is mule logs, so that we can see what all transactions are coming in, and then we'll be storing the log file. So how we'll be storing the log file in the Azure blob storage, you will show you that as well. And whenever so this iteration is based on the application, means if there are four instance ID or four workers, then we will trigger the application four times, or if we will have a for each in place, that will be triggering these three boxes, so that we can download all the worker files and store it in the Azure storage, and then there will be stoppage to our app. That would be our architecture diagram for the use case. Let me go to the next slide. So then comes in the Microsoft Azure. So what all things Azure comes in gives us today, as like it has a infrastructure as a service, and then it gives a platform as a service. It is a software as a service. From Azure, it like there are a number of things that is coming from Azure. You have Azure Repos, you have Azure Storage, you have Azure Key Vault as well. Key Vault is nothing much like if you see, let's suppose I have a API deployed on Runtime Manager, and there is an end system coming, that end system that is interacting with my system API, and system is a DB. Okay, so if let's suppose my DB server is changing across a year, and my like developers that are onboarded to the project have gone, so I don't know, I don't have knowledge to MuleSoft. So instead of heading all your properties in the property file, you will be using the Azure Key Vault, so that I'll keep those things in Azure Key Vault, which I know would change in a year. And at that particular time, I do not have the affordability to have the developers in place, and I do not have the affordability to update my code. So if I update the Azure Key Vault, I'll be updating my Mule app as well, because all those DB credentials will be stored in Azure Key Vault, and my Mule app will be connecting to the Azure Key Vault, so that if there are any updations coming in the future, my API is up to date with the information that is there in the Azure Key Vault. So that all things are there in the Azure Key Vault. And Microsoft Azure, I said, is like very it has a number of services involved. You can see your business challenges would be solved as it is enterprise edition, and all those things, like you will have able to deploy your code, you will able to CI/CD. There's a functionality of CI/CD as well. Whenever you like push your code from the to the Azure repos, you can have the Azure pipelines to deploy your code on any one platform. Those all things are there in the like Microsoft Azure, and that's the best use of it, the Microsoft Azure. So these are things like on-prem, what all things are there in the on-prem, and what all like areas that are covering infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. These all things are the areas which are covered in these services. So why the cloud? So why everyone want to switch to the cloud? So as we all know, like there is a speed involved and there is a scalability. Let's suppose I have a data center, and in that data center I only have the 50 GB of data, but in few years my company growed, and I have like data from 1 lakh of 1 lakh person people data to 10 lakh of person people data. So in that case, obviously my DB should grow because the data is coming in. So we can scale at any moment of time. We can have the licensing in place, and we can have the higher license. If you go to the higher license, you can scale your DBs and your economics. Like it's no too much costly as well. If you see like the membership comes with a low cost, it's all about the speed and scale in the and economics in the cloud. If you see nowadays, that's why no one wants to go to the on-prem, because if you want to go to on-prem, you maybe want to increase the space of your VMs, and then you need to have a memory, and you need to have all those things in your VM. So no one wants to go to the VMs these days. That's why everyone is switching to cloud. It is highly available as well. Let's suppose one of the end system regions end system goes down. There's a possibility that one of the end system is deployed to another region, and that could be available at a particular moment of time. That's why it's also a beneficial feature of the cloud as well. These all things are there in the cloud. If you see, the cloud is growing day by day today in today's economics. Okay, next we move to the next presentation. That's I was talking that Azure has multiple services involved. If you see, there are in the infrastructure services, you have virtual machines, VMs, okay, containers, blob, queues, files. So queues, all these things are there in the Azure. If you see, you can have security management as well. You can have MFA is nothing but your two-way authentication, and you have the keyword, as I was talking about the keyword. Or under platform services, you can have developer services, data intelligence, media, and CDN. All those things are there in the platform services. And you have also a hybrid cloud. So all those things come today in the Azure data center. So you can use this functionality depending on your licensing, which all licensing you have in this account. So you can use all these functionalities. Okay, so this is the architecture of the Azure. So this is a storage architecture. So in the storage architecture, we have queue storage, the table storage, and the blob storage, and the file storage. So we'll be focusing on blob storage today. As I said, blob can save anything. It can save up to your data. It can save up to your video, your images, your TXT files. Anything you came across in your mind, it can save those things in your blob storage. So it is defined in three basic terminologies. One is the blob blobs, then is the append blobs, another is the page blobs. So append blob is nothing. Let's suppose I have a data, like I have a file that is there in the blob storage. I want to append my data again and again into that particular blob or that particular file. I can use append blobs in that, and then have a page blobs. Page blob is let's suppose I have a uh, you can say I have numbering or some data, crucial data that has been placed on the top and then comes up from higher priority to lower priority. Those kind of things can be involved in the page blocks. All those things are there in the blob storage architecture, and this is the scale of the blob storage scale. So, if someone can think like, what is the maximum storage that we can have in a single blob container? So it depends on your storage account capacity. So what the license which you buy, it depends on that. And these all are things that are involved. Maximum number of blocks in a blob or append blob is the 50,000 blocks, and this is the maximum size of block in a blob. As we discussed, there are three blobs in the blob storage: block blobs, append blobs, and the page blobs. These are the maximum storage that we're discussing about in this storage scale. So you can look out look out to this diagram whenever you have time. So we can look out like what all maximum capacity for each block, and then yeah, those all things comes in the blob storage scale. So let me move to the demo now so that we can see how we developed a Mule API for integrating all these use case, and what all things we were doing. Just give me a moment before starting a demo. Let me take the questions if there are any.
We are good to start the demo.
Okay. Yep. So let me stop present again.
So team, this is I think for this Princeton MuleSoft Meetup group, this is the second topic where we are talking about, or we are discussing about externalizing the logs. The first meetup was given by Subhash, I think, externalizing the logs to Sumologic, and this is the second one, externalizing logs to Azure. So two interesting topics. Go ahead, Dr.
So let's talk. Yeah, thanks, Shravan. So let's talk about the CloudHub APIs now first. So this is the CloudHub API. This is a Postman collection that I have involved from the CloudHub API. So what it all does, I'll talk about the functionality first. This is the authentication. How will you authenticate? So you need to log into any one platform. You can do it using a REST API. You don't need to go to UI and then log into any platform. Then we log in with the connected apps. So connected app is nothing much. Let's suppose you have a and you don't have a username or password to log in. You have a client ID and client secret to log in. So in that case, the client ID and client secret comes into picture, but you cannot have client ID and client secret in the first go. You need to log in to Anypoint platform and then make a connected app. Then only you will be able to get the client ID and client secret from the access management from the connected app that you are making. Okay, I'll also show how you can make a connected app in the Endpoint platform. And then we have a login with SAML. All those things are there, design center, exchange. So all those things are available in the REST APIs of the CloudHub. You just go and explore. It is available on the web. What all benefits are there in the CloudHub APIs? I'm sure that you will get something new out of it, and you will be like it will be interesting to you that you want to integrate some end system. You can use this in your picture because it's very much beneficial. I've used it personally to integrate some end systems, so you must use it. It's very beneficial. It has n number of features. If I talk about this, Meetup would be have less time to talk about it. But if you see, all these things are there: authentication, design center, exchange, and the management center. All those things are there in the platform APIs. So just go and cover from the platform, and from any if you go to the documentation of the MuleSoft, you will be able to get this and import this in your Postman or any testing tool that you are using. You will be able to see all those things over here. So let's go to our code now, how we are using this platform APIs. Just a moment. Okay. So this is the app that we did. So I showed you one of the architecture diagram from this use case, what all things were did. But before doing that, I'll show you these all request connectors are there. If you see, I want to show this. I want you to show like I will show how these request connectors are getting hit. I'll show from the Postman first, because from there you will be able to see the response, the required response that you are getting, and how will you able to use these request connectors in the MuleSoft API. So I'll be showing this from the Postman first. So as I said, bearer token is the first step to get the get connected with the endpoint platform. So how will you get the bearer token? As I said, you cannot directly log into Anypoint platform. You need to have a for making any connection with the Anypoint platform. You need to have a connected app for that. So let me show you how you can make your connected app. So let's suppose I logged in with my credentials to the Anypoint platform first. Okay, and then I'm going to my access management. Then you have an option of connected apps over here. So these are all different connected apps that are made by someone from our organization. So I made this connected app earlier to show you what all things are there in the connected app. So I gave the permissions to the connected app. So all these permissions are involved to the connected app. But for using connected app in the CloudHub REST APIs, there are two features that are involved. Let me show you what particular feature you should select. Let's suppose I have some Meetup demo is the name of my connected app. Okay, so if you want to use this connected app from the REST API, you must select this option. This is a mandatory thing to do, because if you don't take this option, you will be you will be not able to pass the this client credentials from the request body of the access token, and you will be getting error. And and that's why if you get the error, you will not be able to get the access token and send the request to your multiple REST API, that is for deploying, that is for downloading the logs. All those requests could not be sent. So obviously keep in mind this option whenever you create a connected app. You should select this option only. So as I've already made the connected app, so I'll be using the client credentials for those as of now, because if I make connected app and I use that, I need to update the configurations again. So I'll be not doing it now, as I don't have much of time. So I'll be using the connected app that I've made clear. Okay, so what you need to do from here is you need to take the client ID and the client secret from here and simply send it to your in your Postman collection. Go to your Postman collection first. What you do before going to MuleSoft, before going to Anypoint Studio to do the development of, first of all, test your REST APIs. how it works, and then only go to Anypoint platform, Anypoint Studio. Okay, so as I said, we copied the client ID and client secret from the connected app and paste it over here, and then you need to pass the client type as client credentials, and then this is a URL that you need to have in place for getting the access token. Whenever I hit this REST API, you'll be able to see the access token. So you just need to have the access token in place. As I said, there was a question in the meetup, like if we hit the REST API, if we expose the REST API, the client would able to get the data. As I said, the access token has some limitation. It expires in some time. So this is the time that it expires in, and it is in milliseconds. So in 3600 milliseconds, it would expire. The access token would expire. For hitting the request again, you need to have a new access token. Then only you can hit the CloudHub APIs. Okay. So let's suppose I have copied this access token, and then what I need to do? I need to see, as I know, like from my use case, I know what app, for what application I'm downloading the logs. So I know that today I'll be downloading the logs of this application that is deployed on Runtime Manager, Meetup logging demo development. So this is the name of my API that is deployed on the CloudHub and on the developer environment. So what all things I need to do is I need to pass the environment ID. Environment ID is basically, let's suppose if you have deployed your API to the development, like in the runtime manager, you have various, you can say QA, development, production, all those environments are over there. So I deployed my application to development today, and I need to get the environment ID of it. So how we will get is, there are two options. If you go to the API manager, let me show you how you can get the environment ID as well. So some for some guys it will be new. So let me show you. So for getting the environment ID of a particular environment, so go to API manager. Okay, so this is the like there are, as I told, there are in different environments: dev, development, production, QA. So I have deployed my app in development today in the runtime manager. So I'll be taking information for development today. So this is the environment name development, and this is the environment ID of it. So what we need to have is take the environment ID from here, and also you need to have you need to have environment ID, and also you need to have the like organization ID. You can get the organization ID from the access management. I'll be not showing the organization ID, as it's not a good thing to do. So if you click on this, you will be able to see the organization ID. I'm using the Kalias Consulting in the root business group for this demo today. So if I click on this, I'll be able to see the root organization ID. Once I'm able to get the organization ID, I'll be able to see the organization ID and copy paste it over here. So this is the thing: organization ID I copy pasted here, and environment ID I copy pasted here. And this from where the bearer token comes in is from this token. I copied this token from the response access token, and then I pasted over here. Let me paste the new token in this chat, in this curl. Just a moment. So if you see, what we did over here is I'm getting the instance ID of my application. So instance ID is nothing. The how I will able to see the instance ID of each worker. So how many the total number of workers there are in the application, I'll be able to see that much number of instance ID in this response. So if you see, I have 4 instance ID, means there are 4 workers that are there on the application that are deployed. So what I will do, I'll take instance ID of each all of the instance ID, copy it, and use the download logs. So this is one of the requests that I'll be using for downloaded. It's the logs file and endpoint. So same, I'll be giving the API name and then the instance ID over here that is been taken from the previous request, and the organization ID, sorry, environment ID I'll be pasting, and the authorization token that I've used in the previous request. Let me copy that. And if you're able to see, I'm getting all the logs that are there for this particular worker. So this is the thing: if I get the logs, I'll be able to export it, export using my Mule API to the blob storage. So let's go to the API to see what all functionalities are there. So do you guys any question on this Postman? If you have, let me know. I'll answer in the chat.
I think, yeah, I'm not able to see your screen sharing. You're sharing something?
No,
I
no,
think your screen sharing.
No,
just stopped.
not.
Okay.
But I was able to see this thing. Kavish, can you go back to the Postman once and show me the logs?
Sure, sure.
Just
Sure.
hide the headers, okay?
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, that looks good. Give me 1 second. Yeah, it looks good. So we'll be. It is coming as a text plain, isn't it?
Yeah, it's coming as a text plain. So we'll be converting it to JSON. Like what all formats you're compatible with it. We can send it to the storage.
Oh, good. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So let me move to the studio to show the development that we did. So if you see, so what I have in places, I have a scheduler first. So then I'm using object store. So let's suppose, as I told, we will be using access token first to like hit our APIs. So I don't want to hit the request token again and again. So I'm using object store in place. Let's suppose I have get a access token from here. I'll store it in object store and I'll use the same object store name to retrieve it. Let's suppose like this has expiration timeout, obviously, like it has some TTL to live, like time to live the object store. And whenever the time to live expire for a particular object store, then it will again hit this subflow to store the request of the access token. And then if the access token is stored on the object store, then we will retrieve it. And when we retrieve the access token, we will be uh, like over here for getting the instance ID of the deployed app. So whenever we get the instance ID, whenever we get the access token, we will pass it over here, and we'll pass the organization ID, and we'll be passing the environment ID as well. I've used all those things in a variable as of now. Okay, so if I pass all those things over here, you will get the instance ID of all the workers. And I have used a for each. Let's suppose there are four workers. This will be iterated over 4 times for downloading the log file and uploading it to the blob storage. There was a key vault that I was using earlier to store the information of the blob storage, but as of now I commented it out for like simpler understanding. I don't want to go into complexity and show you the use case, so I've simplified it out and showed you how we can download the logs and store it on the upload file. So let me run this API and show you. So I'll show you the connectivity as well in the meantime when it is getting deployed. So I'm using that. So this is the blob storage. Okay, so there are two types of connection: access token and the SAS token. So in SS token, you need to have the account name and the access token and the SAS token that you can get from the Azure. So that is visible in the UI if you click on your storage accounts, and that particular account will have a SAS token and all the connected information, like all the information that is needed for us to connect with the MuleSoft. You can get all this information from there for connecting with the Azure. The meantime, when it is getting deployed, uh, let me show you how you can get all this information from Azure, as it is new for the people. Let me go back. So this is like the containers that we are using, and like I'll be using the log extraction container over here. It's a private access. I like no one can access it until unless I give the access to that particular person. So I'll be only for now I have the access to this, and no one can access this particular container. So this is access level things I'm talking about, and for getting your SAS information, you can use one moment. This is the one, shared access signature. From here you need to select the access first. Okay, so you need to have all these option tech, and from here you can get your let's suppose I want to generate the access token. I need to take all this option, and then you can generate your SCS and connection string that you need for connecting with your MuleSoft API or app. Okay, so this is the thing that you can use from Azure UI to get the information to have it connected with the your MuleSoft API. Let me move back to the API as it must be deployed now. Yeah, if you see the API is deployed. Okay, so at the first time it is giving error that we don't have the access token because the time to live is expired for this particular object. So what it will do is like it will go to the on error continue and hit this subflow to get the access token. So it got the access token now. Okay, so I have stored the access token in a variable so that I can use, and it goes to the main flow now. So we are like setting environment ID and organization ID in this transform message, and then we are hitting this Postman like the REST API to get the instance ID of the deployed app. So whenever I get the instance ID, I'll be storing that instance ID in the variable and iterating those instance ID. Let's suppose I have 4 workers. I'll be iterating over 4 workers and downloading the log file and uploading it to the blob storage. So this is a upload blob connector that can be used for storing your files in the upload blob. First, let me upload those all the 4 files to the upload blob, and then I will show you how these files are there in the blob storage and how you can access those files. So this is the flow. Like this flow has ended as the scheduler runs for every 1 minute. That's why it started again. But let me show you like how you can view your files in the blob storage now as the flow has run successfully. Just a moment. Okay, so as I said, I'll be using log extraction as it is a private access. So I've already uploaded some of files from yesterday as well, but I'll show you the latest file. If you see, it's 26 today, and the time is 8:33. So if you see the 8:32, it has 4 files over here. So all those 4 files of each worker get downloaded and uploaded over in the blob storage. Let's suppose I want to access this particular file. How will you able to do is, let's suppose you select it, and you will be able to get the option of download, and you will be able to see the file that is there. So if you open the file, it will be something like this. Let me show you. I guess you're not able to see the file, so let me show you the file as well. So this file is the file will be something like this. It has all the logs that you downloaded from the CloudHub API, and you can see it over here. So by this way, you can externalize your logs and store it in blob containers using CloudHub API and the Azure blob. So this is a simple way to do it, and no like logging tool is involved in it. So this is the way we achieved our problem. So there is a question, I guess. Yeah. Suppose one application has got deployed on CloudHub 2.0 cluster with 2 workers. Okay, on 4 instance tab ITQA. So in that case, to get the logs, we have to use the combination of environment plus instance ID in this case. So Sanmitra, first of all, if we are using CloudHub 2.0, it does not have access to the CloudHub APIs. So in that case, you cannot use CloudHub APIs to get all those things. So that is a simply like a negative answer. You cannot use CloudHub APIs in the CloudHub 2.0.
Yeah.
This is it just does that justify the answer?
Basically, CloudHub 2.0 doesn't yet support CloudHub API from
Yeah.
the solution soon, but yeah, right now it is not supported. Also in CloudHub 1.0, I think we have different IDs, for different environments. Correct me if I'm wrong from the position. Do we have,
Yeah, yeah.
can we use
Differently.
same
Yeah. All,
organize,
all
client credentials for all the environments, or it is different for different environments?
So what happens, Raman, is connected app. Like if you talk about the connected app, all the connected app will have different cloud credentials. But the environment, like if you talk about the runtime manager, if you go to environments, each environment will have a separate or environment ID, and it will not be similar to any environment.
Correct. That's correct. So as per like once I have given a demo on CloudHub platform API for the same group. So there I observed like we have different IDs, but I didn't use connected apps. I have used my personal credentials to connect with CloudHub API. But connected apps is the best solution than using our own personal credentials. Are we good with it?
So, Shravan, let me move to the next. Sorry.
Are you good with the demo,
Go
or
ahead.
we have?
Yeah, I'm good with the demo. I guess there's no questions around, so let's go to the quiz section now.
Yeah. Before going to
So in that quiz section will be
Kapish, before going to the quiz, please set
yeah
up something from your side, Kahoot. Before that, I wanted to just
yeah
summarize what you have said, team. So this is about externalizing your logs. So very simple in simple terms, like there is a limitation in our CloudHub logs that we are not able to, find the logs after 30 days, or if it goes beyond the capacity, like 100 MB or whatever it is, right? So that's the reason. For example, if there is an issue that needs to be discovered, we need those logs, right? So that's the reason. The reason why we are externalizing is to have them stored somewhere so that it will be useful for our monitoring purpose. So to do that, so he is using the help of CloudHub platform APIs to move your logs from one place to another. So here he is using Azure blob, but I think using the same CloudHub platform API, you can store anywhere. Even you can store it in Amazon S3 or anywhere that you want. So that is the idea of today's session. Before he starts the quiz, as we are using Kahoot, right? If I'm not wrong, Kapish?
yes
Yeah.
yes
So I want to just share
yeah
a couple of slides because people who are new to, guys, if you are new to Kahoot, Kahoot is a app that is used for trivia quiz and all. So I would strongly recommend to use your mobile browser, because if you are using your monitor or laptop, it will be hard because Kapish will be sharing his questions on the screen, and it's like first come first serve answer. The answers will be like who answers first, right answer sooner. So it will be hard for you to in your laptop. So I always suggest to use your mobile browser. Enter kahoot.it. Okay, use Chrome. That would be better. Kahoot.it. It's not kahoot.com. It is kahoot.it. And enter your full name, full valid name. And once you log in, once the quiz starts, so the screen will be something like this. You can see on my screen, there will be a question asked, and you will be having 4 options. But on your mobile, you will be not seeing the question, or you will not be seeing the answers. It will be like only 4 colors that will be shown on your mobile. So you have to watch the screen, watch the question, see the answers, and tap on the right answer. Tap on the color that is the right answer. Here, if you feel that your question answer is crossing, then it is a red color, and you can tap on the red color. That's the reason I recommend you to use mobile browser so that it will be easy for you to tap. Okay. All right. That's what I wanted to share, Kapish. You can now share your screen. I will stop the recording, guys, because
okay thanks
the session is completed.